set up your keys, go to your config folder and scroll down here until you find your mamewah.cfg file. Open that up and your keys are all set up in here. The DIK is your direct input keyboard, and that's up, so that's the up arrow on your keyboard. Down is the down arrow on your keyboard for your joypad. Joy 1 is the first controller that you have plugged in. You might have more, so you might have Joy 1, Joy 2, Joy 3, whatever. Joy 1 up, that's up on your analog, your left analog stick. Joy 1 down is down on your left analog stick, if you have it. Joy 1 underscore POV 0, that'll be your first D-pad. You might have more. Most controllers only have one, so it'll be POV 0 if you only have one. And if you're using a second D-pad, it might be POV 1. And you can set up your keys all in here. If you want to have to be able to hold down 2 keys to use it, you need to basically have it set up like that. Use an ampersand symbol, and then add another key right there. Underscore A. So right here, to go up one game, you'd have to hold up and press A. But I don't want to use it like that, so I'll just leave it like it is. And if you scroll down, you have all your settings for your options menu right here. What keys do what in the options menu. Right here, what keys bring up the options menu. I have it set to 2 or joy button 9. You can set it to whatever you need. There's a file in the Mamewah folder. Go to your Mamewah folder and then go to docs, and there's a ctrlr.txt, which is a controller setup, and it'll tell you how to set up the keys. It'll have the names of all the keys, how they're supposed to be set up. So if your keyboard is M, it's DIK underscore M if you're using that key. Up, down, left, right, that's all your arrows. You can set it up to either up, down, left, right, or up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, right arrow. Number pad keys are over here. They have to be named numpad, and then use whatever key it is. For example, your slash or your divide would either be named numpad slash or DIK divide. It just depends on how you want to put it. And the same thing with all the other ones. If you scroll down, if you get far enough down, they have the joypad settings. So joystick inputs right here, and this will tell you how to set up your directions for your joystick. Joy question mark, that's just you just put whatever number of joypad you're going to use for it. So if you have 1, you'll put 1. If you want to use your second controller to control it, you use 2. And then your left, right, up, down, that is for your left analog stick. Your rotate, left, right, up, and down, that's for your right analog stick. Sliders you don't need, those are for flight simulator controllers. And POV is your D-pad, so POV 0 if you only have one D-pad and you're using single D-pad. Your buttons are 0 to 31. No controllers that I know of have that many buttons. Your regular buttons are going to be 0 through 10 or 0 through 12. So you just set them up accordingly. And you're going to scroll down right here to settings on your config file, and you're going to have to turn on your joystick by putting 1 right here. There's going to be a 0 here initially, so you're going to put 1 so your joystick works within the program. Your mouse is set to 0, so you can't use it. If you want to use it, you have to set it to 1. Your keyboard is automatically going to be set to 1, so it's automatically going to be on. So you just set up your keys, set your joystick right here to 1, and then go ahead and save it. So now that your keys are all set up, you can plug in your joystick and use that to control Mamewah. Also to set up those sounds that you heard when it was switching through emulators and stuff like that, when you loaded up games, in your config folder, You're going to have different sounds. Your error is for when you get an error. There's whatever sound you want. Exit is for exiting the Mamewah program. It'll play a sound when you exit Mamewah. Game exit is for when you exit from your emulator back to Mamewah. It'll play a sound. Whatever you have. Game launch is when you're loading up a game, etc., etc. I'll explain this. I'll give you a text file that explains what these are supposed to be named and how to use them. So once you have that all set up, there's also, like I was saying, to give an emulator name, like I set it up. So when I change from SNES to go to the next emulator, which would be Nintendo 64, it would say Nintendo 64. And that's why I have it set up with numbers, and I have it set up so it can only go one way. So when you go to the next emulator, it'll obviously go to the one with 2 in front of it, which is my Nintendo 64 emulator, and it'll play this file right here, which says Nintendo 64 when you play it. So it has to be named emulator.wave for that to work correctly. And you just basically, once that's all set up, you can go into your Mamewah application, and it'll have everything set up. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them for me. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them in my next video. Thanks for watching.